Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to be starting a new project. It's another hot air engine, so I guess I got the bug here. Anyway, the Fizzgig hot air engine is working just like it should, and I've had no problems with it. I run it for 5 minutes or so every day. It starts right up. It runs perfectly, so no problems with that. So I'm going to start a new project. I purchased the plans from a website by Jerry Howell. Jerry Howell has a bunch of plans available for different kinds of engines. This happens to be a hot air engine, and it's called Vickie. You can find it on the internet. I don't know whether I can share any of these drawings with you or not. I kind of think I'm not supposed to do that. But you can go on the internet and find Jerry Howell's website, and you can see what the Vickie project is going to look like. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to start this project, but I've purchased some of the materials I'll need to start the work. And so actually I'm starting out rather small. This morning I'm beginning to make some stainless steel screws. They're very small 540 hex head screws, and it turns out that you can buy hex head screws from some model places, but the heads are too large. He's got a drawing amongst his stuff for the 540 screws with all the dimensions. So I'm sure that's what he expects you to do, is to actually make the hex head screws. So I purchased some stainless steel and some brass hex rod. It's just 3/16 hex rod. That's the size across the flats of these screw heads. So anyway, with that, there'll probably be a bunch of parts to this. So this is part one, and I'm going to make it pretty short here, actually. Let me swing the camera around here and show you what I've purchased so far, and we'll go from there. You can see over there on the bench there's some aluminum rod and some stainless steel rod and some pieces of flat stock there. Okay, so those pieces of aluminum rod are pretty good size. I'm probably going to have to do some work on the mini lathe. I can't do all this on the little TIG micro lathe, but I can work on the stainless steel and the smaller piece of aluminum rod there. The big piece of aluminum rod is the fins, makes all the fins for the displacer cooling. So, and the three flat pieces there, they're going to make some of the frames, of which there's 3 different frames for this engine. This engine's a little bit, quite a bit more complicated than the first little Fizzgig engine that I built. So I'm kind of anxious to get started. Let me swing the camera around one more time. And what I'm doing this morning, and I've just worked for a little while on this, but I'm working over here on this little TIG lathe here, and I'm making some screws. And so I got six little screws to make, and I've made 5 of them so far. I'm not sure I can zoom in. They're laying up on the mill right now. Probably can't zoom in that far, but no, I can't zoom in that far. Well, maybe. Anyway, there's 5 of them there, and so let me go get one and I'll show you, and then I'll put on film the making of one screw. I've got one more left, and then I've got a bunch of other size screws to make too. So let me go get one of these things and see if we can. They're pretty small little screws, and I don't know if I can get in the camera with it. Almost dropped it. You can see how small it is. Small screw. It's got a can't do it. I can't figure out where it is. Oh, there it is. So it's just a 540 thread, and it's got a hex head on it, 3/16 across the flats, and it's got a half inch or a quarter-inch radius on the head, the top of the head. So that's it. I've made 5 of them. I got 1 more to go. They don't take very long. It's pretty no-brainer. So with that, I'm going to shut the camera off, set it up over at the little TIG, and we'll make 1 screw, and then we'll call it quits on this first part. But anyway, so I'll be back in a few. So I'm going to start off with a piece of a hex rod, 3/16. Let's see here. Right now I've got a forming tool bit in there right now that I've been using to form the heads with. So it's just a radius forming tool bit. So that's what I'm using to form the top of the heads. And so this is a little piece of aluminum that I made with a female thread in it, so I can finish the top of the screw after I do the threading and cut it off of the piece of hex rod. So that's what that is. That's left over from the last one. So I got some pieces of hex rod here, some little shorter pieces. And so okay, so I'm gonna stick this in the chuck here, get it chucked up, and I've done 5 of these, so I think I can kind of figure it out here without having to measure anything. I'll let it stick out a little bit there so I got room to thread it. And let's see here. So the first thing we're going to do is, we're just going to face off the end of it, because there's a little titty on there from when we cut it off. So then I don't think this is kind of little wobble there. Hope we didn't break the tip of the cutter. I think it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this down. We need a length of 312 thousandths. So I'm going to set up the micrometer over here. Maybe it'd be better if I zoom out, I don't know. Let's see here. So I'm going to dial in 312 thousandths. There's 1, 2, 3, 12. So there we go. I think I got a little bit too much stick out there. Well, let's try it, because I don't want to have to rechuck it up. So we got an interrupted cut there at the beginning because of the Yeah, we got too much sticking out there. Well, let me move that in a little bit. I have to set up again, but that's all right. A little bit hot. The major diameter on a 540 is 1/8 of an inch, 0.125. So we've got we got 45 now, so we can easily take another 10 thousandths off, right? This rod is stainless steel, 303 annealed stainless, so it cuts like butter. I think I might have screwed my little tip up, so we've got we're 1,000th under. Oh, we'll just make a spring pass. I've been turning these about 2,000ths under. But no matter what, the threading goes real easy, no problem. Okay, I'm going to put a little chamfer on the end. Find something here to do that with. That looks about right. There we go. Give the die a place to start there. Now we're going to cut the thread on it. Let's see here. Here we go. Trying to stay out of the way of the camera, but I'm probably not doing a very good job. Well, there we go. Keep it snugged up here a little bit till I get it started. There she goes. And put a little cutting oil on it. I got quite a few screws to make. Some are brass, some are stainless. Some are longer than others. This happens to be a fairly short one. The stainless is pretty easy to thread. No reverse on this thing, so it's all manual labor. There we go. Takes care of the thread on the last one this size. Well, let's get rid of this chuck here. There we go. Now I gotta cut it off at this point. We're just gonna put the parting tool on here. I usually set my tool post up so the parting tool is square. The other tools I can, vary accordingly. I know the head and the diameter on the end of it is 182 thousandths. So there's 0 right there. I'm going to go 182. There's 100 right there. There's 75, 80, 82 right there. I'm going to lock my carriage there, and here we go. We're going to cut this off. It is. Get this out of the way. So there we are so far. Okay. So I'm going to take that piece of hex rod out of there. We're going to put this piece of aluminum rod back in there that has a female 540 hole in it. I'm going to screw this little screw into this hole here so we can work on the other end of it. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit in there. And let's see here. Take the cutoff tool out. First thing we're going to do is we're going to face the end of it. Got a little nibbin on there we got to get rid of. There we go. Now we're going to put a radius on there with the forming tool. And I just do that by eye, you know. What I do with the darn thing here. Kind of put it on there. I think that looks about right. I got a bunch of these radius tools that I've made up from time to time for different reasons. I'm just going to turn the speed down here a little bit. And I'm just going to feed this side in here. Yeah, we're there. We're hitting the hex. Okay, that's it. That's it. Another screw. That's the last screw. So, I'll get this out of here. Hit it with a little bit of Scotch-Brite. Can't really get that hex shined up, so just the way it is, I guess. Well, there's number 6. Well, you can see that's a pretty quick process. Well, that's 6 of them. I've got here, let's see here. Okay, let me see. There's 6 of them. There's just a brass test screw I made just to see how it was working out. Okay, so I do have a bunch of brass screws that I have to make just like this. So, and I have some that are over an inch long, and these are less than 3/8 long. So I got some that are fairly long, but they're only threaded on the ends. They're actually, so there you go. So we'll call off now. We'll end this video. This was just a short introduction to this project. So we'll be introducing more videos as we go along. Okie doke. Okay, I'm going to add another little piece to this video that I started. I realized that I made those 5 small screws, but the larger screws are a little different process, a little more trouble to make. So I thought I better include that in this video. It's going to make it kind of long, but there's one of the longer screws, okay? Now I experimented on a piece of brass, and that's no problem. You can cut a piece of brass with a sharp point. You can let it stick out a long ways, but these are almost 1 1/8 inches to stick out. So you got to make them a little bit different. You got to use a little different procedure. So anyway, I'm going to make one on camera, and then we'll go from there, and I'll include it in this video. So here we go. Right now I've got the collet chuck in there, which I'm going to need later, so let's get that off there. I like to be able to get this done fairly quickly, but I don't know if that's possible. I think it's going to take a while. I may have to fast forward through some of it or something to include it in the video, otherwise it's going to get too long. Well, let's get the 3-jaw chuck on here, and I'm going to try to hurry through this so we can get it in. Let's see here. We need a piece of hex rod, so here we go. Here's a piece of hex rod, and let's get this out of the way. Get that in there, and hopefully I can do this without measuring anything. So what I'm going to do is I can't have all that 1.1/8" stick out. I could, but you got to take a lot of little small depths of cut passes, so that doesn't really, let me sure I tightened this. So what we're going to do, as you know, we got to get this down to an 1.1/8" diameter. So what we're going to do is take a piece of it down and then bring it out some more and take another piece down. And I'll try to hurry up the process a little bit. Maybe I'll take a little bit, I'll take a big depth of cut and a slow feed so we can, let's see. Let's see if I can get below the hex this time so we don't have an interrupted cut. So it's 20 thousandths, 40 thousandths. Let's take off 40 thousandths off the diameter. That should get us below the hex. I'll feed it fairly slow here. All we're going to do is we need an 1.1/8" stick out. We've got it, so we're going to do this is about 5/8" I'm guessing. So it's about half of it. I'll keep track of the numbers on the dial here. We got to get this down to an 1.1/8" or a couple thousandths below so we can thread it. Go. Let's take 20, 30, let's take a big chunk here. Try to hurry up the process. Depth of cut here, so we don't want it to chatter. We got to kind of take it easy. Remember, this is stainless steel, 303 annealed stainless. It cuts quite easily, so maybe not as easy as a piece of 12L14 or something, but it doesn't cut bad. This when I edit the video, so that should help a little bit. Let's see where we're at. We went after it pretty quickly, so. Okay, we only have about a couple thousandths to go here. So let's just let's see here. Need to take off. Okay, maybe let's take off 4 thousandths. Let's try that. We can feed faster now, we're just taking off a couple thousand. Now I'm going to take off a little bit more than that. I see I'm not getting much of a cut. Kind of going after a little bit quickly here. Take off one more. I got to remember at this point, we got to change cutters while we got this short stick out here. We got to chamfer the end of this, so we got to get the die started on there. I got to slow this down. Get a nice chamfer on there. Alright, let's move this thing out here. I'll just use a scale here to figure this out. Where is it? I have a scale here someplace. We need about 1 1/8 stick out, okay? Well, there's about 1 3/16 right there. We got a little bit more to whittle down there. Let's see here. Let's put this cutter on there. Ouch! Damn it. Alright, let's see here. I got some gauge blocks set up. Okay, I got some gauge blocks together here. I'm going to use those to set up the depth, total depth. There we go. Well, now we got the total depth to set. Let's just take another cut, see if we can get below the hex so we don't have an interrupted cut. Pretty deep cut here, so Am I pushing the cutter a little hard? There we go. Let's just take another 20. Speed it up a little bit here. Okay, let's just see if we can get down to where we need to go here. I can hear it ticking right there. Okay, let's see where we're at. Oh, let's see. We're a little heavy. Need to go down a couple thousandths. Alright, let's hopefully we hit it. Yeah, that should do it. A little bit under, but it's okay. Clean it up a little bit here. Alright, put the thread on it. Got a little spot in the middle there. Not the end of the world, I guess. I'm trying to hurry through this. Oil on it. Should start right in there. Okay. I'm put a little mark on it too here so I know how deep to go. Just an eyeball mark here. There. Somewhere about there. Okay, there's my mark. Looks pretty good. There we go. Got a thread on it. Get the tailstock moved back. It's off. Ready for the next one. Now we need to cut it off. I got a little divot in there. Must have. Not perfection. Pull it out here a little bit so we can cut it off. I got another set of gauge blocks set up for this dimension too. Well, that makes it easy. Got a couple gauge blocks here. I think we're 182 thousandths if I remember right. Okay, there we go. And now we gotta, crown the head. So let's get that done. For that, I've got to put the collet holder back on there. Come on, get in there. Remember, we got these are the major diameter is 1/8 of an inch, so that's what we got to do here. We got 1/8 of an inch collet in there. I'm gonna put this in right up to the head. Tighten up the collet holder. Tighten up the collet. Let's see here. I'm gonna find this. Here we go. So here's a little forming tool that I used on the last one. Let's see where we got to put it here. That looks like it right there. We should be able to just feed this in. As long as it's cutting more on the front side. So here we go. Slow it down. If it's hitting on the back side, it won't cut. There we go. Looks like it. Let's see, maybe just hit it for the little bit of material here. Okay, so there we go. Got another screw. Hopefully you can see that. Camera's in an awkward place back here, so I got it up on the bench over here behind the mill. Okay, so that's another one. I got a couple more to go, but I wanted to put that on camera because it's a little different to making the longer screw. So with that, you know, I'll call off this little segment and I'll splice this into the video somewhere.